we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill, Extreme Tech. We're going to do another salad AI video, kind of talk about what I got going on. Been changing stuff up pretty much daily. Might start making more videos, it might not. I just kind of want to explain a lot of what I've been doing. I've been turning a lot of machines on and off depending on demand to try to optimize that. I think with the way they've changed the on-demand system in here, in the Salad Network and the Earn Salad Network monitoring, this kind of shows you better kind of what you're going to pick up jobs for and what you're not going to pick jobs up for. So the stuff down here in low demand, like immediately after the last video, I turned off all of my 3060s, all my 3070s, and my 3060 Ti's. And then I want to say like 2 days ago, I think I turned back on all of my 3060s. For a little bit today, I had turned on all my 3060 Ti's, but I already have them all shut back off. None of them picked up any real jobs. They were just doing 10-cent per day jobs. So I already shut them all back off. I'm going to leave my 3060 Ti's, 3070 Ti's, and 3070s. I'm just going to leave them all off. Try to see what we can do to break down how much I've actually been making and try to make some of this make sense. So last 24 hours was $32.22, basically on 15 machines. I had some other machines on for a little bit, but they never picked up any work, so we're not even going to bother including those. We'll probably have to break down the actual jobs like that, but for the most part, it looks like, I mean, this was staying pretty solid for me at about $1.38 per hour for the vast majority of the day. Right now, it's down to $1.23 per hour, so not too bad with how few machines I have running, because I'm only running 15 machines again. That's it's not too bad. So if we look at this one right here might not actually be running anymore, because I just turned off. Let's see if I refresh it, maybe if that'll give us a little bit of a better one here. And then we'll do this where we go back and forth with the arrows. Yeah, that already disappeared. So you can see I'm showing less than the full 30 machines now too, because some of them have already started to fall off because they haven't ran in so long. They all up. All right. So if we go to this first page here, this first one for $25, or for not $25, 25.9 cents per hour. This is going to be an RTX 4090. It's 0.084 cents. This is going to be my 3090s, my 3070s, my 3060 Ti's. I would assume when I get my 4070 Ti's back up and running, they'll also be running this job. If we look at the on-demand page, it'll probably say what's all running this job here, this 8-cent job. Let's see, 4060 Ti's, 4080 should be running a little more, 4070s, 3080 Ti, 3090, 3070 Ti is also running that job, and 4070 Ti Super. They look like they're pretty much all running that same job. It's running pretty consistently. I'm making it work. I have my rigs are power limited. At first I thought when I was doing that, I thought that was a percentage. It's not a percentage. I'm limiting it to that many watts specifically. I think that might be part of the reason why my NVIDIA Chrome remote, not my NVIDIA, why my Chrome remote desktop wasn't working correctly. It could be because if I don't have enough power going to the cards, that may have been it. So I turned the power up on all of them a little bit more to a spot I think works a little bit better, but I don't want to go into them because I did, when I was going into Chrome remote desktop earlier, I did see one that wasn't a job fail, so I'm trying to stay out of going in with Chrome remote desktop, or if I do, just going in very quickly for a few seconds. So we're going to cover this a little bit more generically out here. I do believe 3 of my 33090s, or 3 of my 34090s, all 3 of them are in a job. 2 of them are for 25.9 cents per hour, which should be like $6.20 a day. And then we get to the other page with the other one, we'll cover what that third one is making. And then 3 of my 4 3090s right now are on one of these 8.5 cents per hour jobs. Which, do I have that in here? Hopefully I do. No, I don't. It's like about $2 a day. Let's see. And then my 4070 is running one of these 8.5 cent jobs. And then 2 of my 3 4060 Ti's are also running one of these 8-cent jobs. If we go to page 2, 5.5 cents. I want to say, I guess we will at the next page we can figure out. So this is a 3060. This is a 3060. This is a 3090 to a lower 40 series. This is another 4090. So we have 2 3060s. It looks like I have 3 3060s running, and it looks like maybe I only have, looks like one of my 4090s right now is not running. Yeah, this is a 4090 right here. Switched pages on me, so it's throwing me off a little bit. This one is currently not running. This is BCPC1. Let's go see. What does this one say? Should say it is not currently running, or it is actively downloading a job. I don't think the 4090s are in high demand right now. It's currently downloading a job. So it'll be back in the job really quickly. Hopefully when it does pick one up, it picks up the one of the bigger 4090 jobs, not one of the smaller 4090 jobs. But you can see I have on the new 8-cent jobs is 3, 4, so I have 6 machines. So yeah, so I said that's 3 3090s, 1 4070, and 2 4060 Ti's. So it's not too bad. If we then select on all, and we look at, we already covered that. If we look at the last 30 days, we can see everything was cooking real good here. I believe this was on 20 machines. I was making $48 a day, so that was, this was a pretty nice little stretch. When I went down to 20 machines, I was doing really, really good. Then my internet service provider absolutely screwed me over. They went and they changed something in their security settings that wound up basically blocking Salad. Wound up being a huge pain in the butt for me to figure out what was going on. Eventually got it figured out, but about a week, everything was shut off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe my electric bill says it runs from the 10th through the 10th, and I did not even save that much money in this entire time that was all shut down. So I was a little disappointed with that I didn't save more. I don't know if that's just in how the electric company does the electric readings, if my usage was so high on certain days, or like it just has to be this high all the time or whatnot. I don't really know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky and in my next electric bill it'll just be a lot less. I didn't see a huge drop off though from these couple of days where it wasn't running, but I did have I probably still had everything running to here. I don't think I had everything off for the full week, but I did have everything off for part of it. And then when I started turning stuff back on, for the most part I was just kind of turning stuff back on kind of slowly. And you can see here it's kind of slowly building. I have one day then where it goes poop, and then it goes all right, and then here it just jumped up quite a bit. But I think I want to say here probably is where I turned on all of my 3060s. So I had the ability to start making a little bit more. I have ordered more RAM, so when that more RAM comes in, go to the next page here. When that more RAM comes in, I'm going to put 64 gigabytes of RAM right now, I think, in both of my 4070 Ti's. The original plan was to put 128 gigs into both of the 4070 Ti's. But I think I'm just going to put 64 gigs of RAM into both of these 4070 Ti's, and then I think I'm going to put 64 gigabytes of RAM into both of the 3080s as well. I think if it's in these bottom 3 spots, or these top 3 spots here for low, I'm probably okay with having that on and running, so it's already in line for if that does bump up into moderate to be getting the jobs. If it drops below these top 3 for low, So anything here from this 2080 below or down, I'm just going to turn that off. Not even going to bother running it unless the demand comes up more on it. They did recalibrate how they classify high demand and low demand and moderate demand. So like if it's in low demand now, like I think it's really in low demand. You're not going to randomly pick up a good job anymore, I don't think. I think if it's in low, I don't think there's any work for it. I haven't seen an official classification for how they break it down now, but I think in how they're breaking it down now, it's more realistic, where if it's in low demand, it's not getting any work. But if it's in like these top 3 spots for low right now, I'm thinking that's probably okay to have it up and running and see what it can do. And I think that's all right. So if we come up in here, then we look at what's going on here right now. The 4070 Ti Super is in high demand. I don't have any of those. In my opinion, the card is entirely too expensive. I definitely would not buy it to be mining this, because it's doing the same thing right now as cards a quarter of the price. You can get a 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card is making the exact same thing at a third of the electric usage. So 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card, way better right now in my opinion than the 4070 Ti is. But if you have a 4070 Ti, it still might not be that bad. 3090 Ti's, I have been seeing a bunch of these on Facebook Marketplace locally for sale. I still don't know if I'd say I've seen any for a good price for sale, but that might not be terrible. You might be able to make some money on that. That should be at like 10 cents. That should be like $2.60 per day, I believe. I got it in here. No, 10.9. So this is more likely about $2.25 per day. So it's not terrible. Depending on your electric rate, you might be able to be making some money on that. 4070 Ti's, I did have mine all shut off. I'm going to turn them back on. I'm going to put them power regulated, probably at like 70 watts or something, and then see what they can do. 3090s, kind of a low paying out job for them. So if you power regulate your cards, I believe I have my 3090s. Let's take a look and see. I closed Chrome Remote Desktop out. Let's open up Chrome Remote Desktop and let's look at that 3090. If I look at it real fast, I don't think it's too bad. So I have these at 70 watts of power. I don't remember what this degraded was from. Does it say what this degraded was from? Unable to access the internet. Yeah, I don't know if everything on my ISP is still completely ironed out, but I'm hoping it is better. But you can see here they're doing $8 or not $8, 8 cents, 8.37 cents, 8.4 cents. But I have them all power limited at 70 watts a piece, so I think that should, for me, that should keep the 3090s profitable. 4090s are down to moderate demand. I still think they're still doing really, really good. Probably still the best card to be having right now for Salad. 3080 Ti. I don't have any 3080 Ti's. They look like they're doing basically your standard, mid-range, decent card. This 8.5 cent per hour job. It's not too bad. 4070s. My 4070, I poop on this card all the time. It's by far the worst card I have for Salad. Last 2 months, it's been pretty decent card for Salad. It's actually been picking up a decent amount of work. So I think 4070 has kind of come back around, and now I think it is. It might actually be a little bit of like a better card for Salad. I don't have any of the 4080s. They look like they're doing just marginally better. That's at $2.25 job. So depending on your electric, that might be profitable. That might not be profitable. 3060 still doing pretty decent. 5.5 cents. I believe that's $1.30 per day. Yeah, about $1.30 per day. So not a bad little job for a card that doesn't take a lot of electricity. So it should be pretty decent profitability. I think even no matter what your electric rate is, maybe like 50 cents per kilowatt hour, that might not be good, but 40 cents per kilowatt hour, anything above that might not be good. But I don't think anything is good if you get up like that 40 cents per kilowatt hour. But you can probably go pretty high on your electric and still be profitable with that. 5070, this says the 5070 is making like nothing. It's in moderate demand, and this looks like it's still predominantly just running the transcription jobs for 0.4 cents per hour, 10 cents per day. I don't know why it's in moderate demand for that, if that's what it looks like the vast majority of them are running. I don't know what one's making then if it's in a real job. 4060 Ti, as I said, yeah, like 2 of my 3 right now are active running in these 8.5 cent jobs. So they're not too bad. They don't use a lot of electricity, so that's pretty good. The 5090 then is coming in third. So the 5090 doesn't look like it would necessarily be too bad. It looks like it's making, does that say it's making a little more possibly than the 4090? It says it's making a little more than the 4090. So just not a lot of demand, so it may not run a job. 3080s, I may get these back up and running and see what they do. If they don't look like they're making any money, I may immediately shut them off and just put all of that RAM into the 4070 Ti's if I can. But we'll see. 5080, I don't have a 5080. It doesn't look like that's very profitable right now at all. So on the low end, it says a lot of these are, again, doing the 0.04 cents per hour, 10 cents per day. So that's not making anything. Yeah, I don't even care really about the much of the rest of the bottom. Is 3060 Ti is doing terrible, have them all shut off. 3070 Ti is doing terrible, have them all shut off. 3070 Ti is all doing terrible, have them shut off. 3070 Ti, I don't remember much about that card. I guess I would get a 50 series card. I would want the 5060 Ti with the higher VRAM, which I don't even think is on this chart yet. Yeah, it's not even on this chart at all. They've been up for a while, but yeah, it's not even listed, so. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been really using this chart a lot to determine what I want to do, what I want to have turned on and have turned off. If we turn everything on, then just try to like double check a couple hours later, see what it's doing. If the demand is completely fallen off and none of them picked up a job like I did today with the 3060 Ti's, then just shut the 3060 Ti's all back off again. It looked like they were going to make a comeback. None of mine did. If any of mine would have picked up a job, obviously I'd have left that machine on and let everything then that didn't pick a job up, turn it all off once it looked like the demand dropped way back down again on the 3060 Ti, because the 3060 Ti was up here higher. I think it was like right below the 3080 earlier today. So I tried with it. It didn't look like it worked. Turn them back off. Right now 3070s and 3070 Ti's don't look like I'm going to turn them back on at all. So, but we'll see how it goes, because with everything in here, like, it can change pretty rapidly from day to day. I didn't think the 3060s were going to make a comeback. They made a pretty good comeback. 4060 Ti's have come back. You know, for a while, the only thing they had on here in the yellow or the green at all was the 4090. At least conveniently for me, it does look like Salad completely reset how they were doing everything immediately following my reset for a week. So, you know, I got to thank Salad for at least being convenient with me for that. So, yeah, just kind of really relying heavily on this sheet right now for what to be turning on and what to be turning off. I don't know if I can break that down anymore, but it looks like it's doing all right. With the number of machines that I'm running, my profitability should be pretty decent. My electric bill for last month still wound up being really, really high. It was only like $50 less than it was the month before. So I thought I had everything shut off, unless I read my billing dates wrong. I don't know if the billing dates are necessarily the dates that it was running during. I'm gonna have to take another look at it to see. Right now I'm just gonna hope my next electric bill is like way cheaper, but I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much that. Just kind of monitoring it, trying to monitoring it more with this. On here, I look at it and go, when it's 4 days ago, I understand that's a machine that I shut off. I am going to have a problem now, though, because I did have my 4060 Ti's were all on today. And I guess I had one 3070 I had up as a test rig, just to see if the 3070 would pick up a job. It's been on since the last video, so I think it's been on for a couple of days, or it's been on for a while, but it didn't pick up any work, so I shut off the three 3060 Ti's and the one 3070. So I'm gonna have 4 machines here that right now are gonna say they're like 2 hours old, and tomorrow they're gonna say they're a day old. So I need to pay attention to that. These ones that are 4 days old, these are probably my 4070s. And it's 23 days old. That is probably the 3070 Ti's and 3080s maybe. Start getting into that lot older. I did have a bunch of stuff fall off. So you can see here, this is probably a 3070 Ti. And then this is probably a 3080. That other one on the page, the 23 days, is probably also a 3080. That'll be a 3070 Ti. And 4 days ago, so this will be a 3070, and this will be a 3070. So, yeah, definitely not being afraid to just turn stuff off right now if it doesn't look like it's going to be profitable. And then with the way they have this broken down, if it comes up to the point it is in that moderate to high, you're going to pick up a job really fast. So I don't think there's anything wrong if you're already at Star Chef and have been doing this for a while, just turning it back on. And hopefully it'll pick something up real quick. If you find this useful, like button, subscribe, coming back, comment down below. I'm pretty good about responding to all the comments and all that. So, yeah. I may try to do more or less. I don't know if you guys want me to do a video every time I turn machines on and off and just go like, this is what I'm seeing right now. The 3060s look good, so I turned it on, and then 2 hours later when I come back and double check, or 6 hours later, 12 hours later, I come back and check and go, oh, all fell off. They're not going anywhere, and I turn them off. If you want smaller videos like that, I can do smaller videos like that too, probably, but yeah, I don't think I really have anything else. It's really just kind of the stuff I covered in the last one. This is far more accurate now. I think it's not as who knows as it was before, because I used to, when stuff was in low demand, like, I picked up really good jobs for stuff that was in low demand. If something's in low demand now, I don't think you're picking up anything. If it's in these top spots, like these top 3, I think you have a little bit of a better chance. Because I think the stuff that's up here, I think these 3 they're in the middle of onboarding stuff that have those kind of jobs. There may not be a ton of demand for them, but I think they are onboarding jobs right now for the 5090, the 3080, and the 5080. They're just not onboarding a lot of them. So I think you still have a chance with these. The stuff further on down, though, I definitely don't. You know, this could potentially be, you know, from like right here down. This could all be lower than low demand. Just 0 jobs in the system for it, so almost 0 chance of getting them. So monitoring this list more, I think, makes more sense, and then turning your stuff on and off accordingly. So hopefully that was helpful. If it was, like, button, subscribe, come on back. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.